From Charlottesville, this is GMC on Fox Virginia with Bo Sykes, Brenna Kiefner, and meteorologist Delaney Tharp. Now, this is GMC on Fox Virginia.
Coming up on GMC, Albemarle County Police investigating a shots fired call that happened over the weekend. Police may have an idea of who's behind this shots fired call. We'll have an update.
Plus, a familiar face from UVA is running his 13th consecutive Boston Marathon this morning. We'll tell you who that is and what he's raising money for.
And later, middle and high school students from all over the state gathered for a special disc golf tournament in Fluvanna County.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us for GMC on Fox Virginia. I'm Brenna Kiefner.
And I'm Bo Sykes. We'll have those stories in a moment. First, let's get a check on the Weather Authority forecast on a Monday morning. Here's meteorologist Delaney Tharp. And Delaney, we had a nice weekend. Question is, will that weather carry into our Monday?
We are looking to have a pretty roasty, toasty Monday. So if you liked yesterday's temperatures, a lot of the same today.
Okay.
We may have some showers and storms a little bit later on, though, but just seeing those a little bit later on. So most of the daylight hours will be pretty dry. Okay. So all good news.
Yeah.
High temperatures are already, we're going to be eventually in the 80s, but the past couple of hours, we have seen just a few passing clouds. But most of the rainfall has been to our north. Now, all of that is riding along a boundary, a stationary boundary that's going to be moving a little bit further south, and that's the reason why we're seeing the precipitation later on into the day today. Temperatures already in the 70s, 75 degrees outside the CBS 19 studio with a lot of sunshine already outside. We're going to continue with that. Our temperature difference already showing the immense amount of warmth that we're seeing in the area. 21 degrees warmer now than we were just this time yesterday morning, and we're back in the 80s once again today. 85 by 3 o'clock and kind of a half and half day. So we're looking at mostly sunny skies for the first part of the day, but for the second half and as we move towards the evening, that's when we are going to be seeing a few of those clouds starting to move in ahead of those showers and storms. All of that thanks to a low pressure system that's going to be moving a little bit closer towards our area. Your weather headlines for today: very warm, isolated showers expected once again tomorrow, and this warm pattern might be lasting for a little bit. I have the details on the storm threats this afternoon and how long this warm stretch of days will last coming up in a little bit.
Albemarle County Police are investigating a shots fired incident that happened on Saturday evening. ACPD received multiple calls for shots fired in the 200 block of Colonnade Drive. No property damage was found and nobody was hurt. Police said this was an isolated incident and there's no threat to the public. ACPD does have a couple of suspects in mind for who could be behind this. If you can help with the investigation, call Crime Stoppers at 434-977-4000.
Albemarle County Fire and Rescue responded to a structure fire on Saturday evening at Old Lynchburg Road just before 5 p.m. The first units arrived on scene within 15 minutes to discover heavy smoke conditions and an outbuilding fully engulfed. ACFR determined that the structure was a total loss and 2 acres of forest were also impacted. No injuries were reported and no one was displaced, but the Albemarle County Fire Marshal's office has determined the cause of the fire to be a charcoal grill that was left unattended.
The president of James Madison's Montpelier is speaking out after a fire broke out in the archaeology lab last week. In a Facebook video, the CEO of the Montpelier Foundation said 5 fire departments and 30 firefighters responded to the fire and later said that 3 firefighters sustained injuries. She said the quick reaction of the first responders and support from the community is greatly appreciated.
We are truly so much stronger together. As we stay in touch with the Orange County Fire Marshal, we await a final report informing us of the cause. We do not have additional information at this time.
The fire did not impact the main property, and the historic core of Montpelier will remain open to the public as normal. The Orange County Fire Marshal is investigating the cause of the fire.
A Fishersville man is dead after a pedestrian crash in Augusta County on Saturday night. It happened around 8 p.m. on Route 250 near Long Meadow Road. 58-year-old Sean Burns was taken to the hospital where he died of his injuries. State police say a pickup truck driver was unable to avoid hitting Burns, who was attempting to cross the 5-lane highway. The driver remained on scene and is not being charged.
A former Virginia elementary school administrator charged in connection to a teacher being shot appeared in court on Saturday. Ebony Parker is facing 8 counts of felony child neglect and disregard for life. She was the assistant principal at Rich Neck Elementary School when a then 6-year-old boy shot his teacher in the classroom in January of last year. According to a special grand jury report, Parker allegedly ignored multiple warnings that the child had a gun and that his behavior was out of line. If convicted, Parker could face up to 40 years in prison.
The Albemarle County Police Department is investigating an embezzlement case involving a Keswick-based company. The owners of Dobson Homes Incorporated are facing 6 counts each of felony embezzlement for defrauding customers in Albemarle County. The police department is looking for more people who may have been victims of this company as part of its ongoing investigation. All of the victims in the county are over the age of 62, and ACPD believes that they were targeted due to their vulnerability. The Dobsons are accused of embezzling more than $1.4 million between October 2020 and December 2022. And if you have used this company in the past, you are asked to call ACPD.
Albemarle County school employees can now pursue collective bargaining. This means employees can negotiate for benefits as a group. The school board voted unanimously to approve the move. The resolution creates 2 possible bargaining units within a school division. One is for licensed instructional staff, while the other is for educational support professionals or classified staff.
This morning, UVA President Jim Ryan will be running his 13th consecutive Boston Marathon. Ryan is commonly known for hosting student runs around grounds, and he said in a social media post that this year he is running in support of the UVA Children's Hospital. So far, Ryan has raised over $40,000 for the hospital through donations for today's race that starts at 10 a.m.
Across the Commonwealth, the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence says that 1 in 4 women experience physical abuse by their partner, and more than 20,000 calls are placed daily to national domestic violence hotlines. In Richmond, Shirley Scarborough spearheads an annual domestic violence prevention workshop for young girls and women in Central Virginia after her daughter Francesca was murdered in April of 2020 from domestic violence. This weekend, her nonprofit Cry Loud held the I Am Enough, I Know My Worth conference to fight against domestic abuse.
You don't think anybody cares, but I promise you, if you just open your mouth and share, somebody will listen, and you may be saving somebody's life.
It's her hope that sharing her daughter's story can not only save lives, but also help give women the courage to speak up. Students from all over Central Virginia competed in a special disc golf tournament over the weekend.
Fox Virginia's Steph Cigarelli has the story.
The Fluvanna County Disc Golf Club made history yesterday with its first tournament at Pleasant Grove Park. Participants hope to take disc golf in Virginia to the next level.
I think it's pretty cool that we have people traveling almost 2 hours to come down here in the middle of Virginia to play disc golf.
Fluvanna County Disc Golf Club hosted the first inaugural event of the year and of all time for VIDGA, the Virginia Interscholastic Disc Golf Association.
So this is a historic event. This is the first time that 2 public schools have faced off against each other in a team format in the sport of disc golf in the state of Virginia.
Goochland High School brought 4 players and Trinity Episcopal School brought 8 to compete against Fluvanna's 6 team members. District Network Administrator Joe Crisp says his goal is for disc golf to eventually become a varsity sport at Virginia high schools.
We really want it to be an option for kids that don't see their destiny in the typical varsity sports like football or baseball or basketball, etc.
It's fun and cool.
The Flying Flucos Disc Golf Club team captain Cameron Lamb shares that goal.
Build the community of disc golf itself, and to get it into a high school sport is honestly my main goal.
Liberty University students who play on their club disc golf team came down to support the event.
Coming out here and being able to support the growth of the sport, I think that's one of the most important things that we can do, especially in the stage that we're in our lives, kind of passing the baton down to people that are younger than us.
The Flying Flucos Disc Golf Club traveled to the Miller School of Albemarle today to compete in another tournament, and they'll return there next Sunday. In Fluvanna County, I'm Steph Cigalori, Fox Virginia News.
The Price is Right Live is coming to John Paul Jones Arena on October 15th, and we have your chance to win tickets before you can buy them. The contest runs from now until Friday. Come on down to the website, cbs19contest.com, and enter to win. It's that simple. We'll be giving away a pair of tickets every day this week.
Well, calling all puppet enthusiasts this week, we're thrilled to present a captivating lot of 12 puppets up for bidding, starting at $25. These whimsical characters are waiting to find a new home. Join us for a lively auction experience and a chance to bring these puppets to life in your collection. The Salvation Army's auction is happening on the CBS 19 Facebook page.
After this weekend's Iran attacks, President Biden plans to hold meetings today with 2 prime ministers.
Still to come on GMC, we'll have those details just ahead, right after weather with Delaney.
Temperatures back in the 80s today with showers and storms possible this afternoon. I'll have the details on the possibility of those stronger storms and their threats coming up right after the break.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
Good morning and welcome back, my friends. JES Skyline Network showing a lot of sunshine this morning. We're starting to see just a few clouds starting to move in the area, but besides that, we're staying mostly sunny and already on the warmer side this morning. 75 right now in Charlottesville, 65 in Syria, 66 in Madison, and 63 degrees this morning in Dillon. So overall, definitely a mild start to the day. And throughout the day, we're still moving into the 80s. If you liked yesterday's temperatures, you'll love today. Very similar, 86 degrees by 4 o'clock, that high temperature, with mostly sunny skies to start off the day. Now, a little bit later on, that's when we can expect some showers and storms, but still those looking to be fairly isolated in nature. But those showers and storms complements of this low pressure system, and as that stationary front moves a little bit further south, that is the reasoning why we're seeing those showers and storms. This front, this boundary that we're seeing, kind of the highway along which those showers and storms will travel along. So as it moves further south, so will those showers that we're going to be seeing later on. And some of those that may be on the stronger side, again, as there's a little bit further as we move towards the afternoon, around 7 and 8 o'clock, that's when we'll start to see those fairly isolated instances of those rain showers. Wind speeds out of the southwest today, the southerly flow, that's also part of why the temperatures are a little bit warmer. Sustained winds from 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the southwest throughout the day today. And again, we are mentioning those stronger storms. The categorization we're seeing from the SPC, most of us in that slight category. So that is a 2 out of 5, and we're seeing that into the eastern portions of Culpeper, Madison, Greene, Albemarle, as well as Nelson and Buckingham in those marginal categories, the 1 out of the 5 risks. So this a little bit later on in the day, about 9 o'clock to midnight this evening, threats with this system, heavy rainfall, damaging winds, and the possibility of some small hail. And the storms, again, isolated in nature, very hit or miss. So this is not going to be a widespread event. We're not looking at a large sprawling line. This is just going to be those very hit or miss storms. But some of those moving into a very favorable environment with a lot of those warmer temperatures and moisture that we're seeing in the atmosphere today. So timing it out on Futurecast, we're looking at those clouds very hit or miss throughout the day, and then those isolated instances of rainfall moving about 4 o'clock. We're going to continue to see that overnight and continuing into very early Tuesday morning. Your Cardinal Home Center Ixon forecast 86 degrees, the high temperature today. And this entire work week, we're in the 70s and 80s. Monday through Wednesday, however, the daily rainfall chances as we're looking towards the second half of the week, Thursday and Friday, drying out in the first half of the weekend as well. Great weather for the Dogwood Parade this weekend.
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes, it is the season.
It's about that time, and I was thinking 68. It's probably gonna feel like winter compared to our temperatures this early this week. Next week, you might have to bring out the coat with how hot it is going to be.
Hey, you never know. Get a little hoodie weather back in Central Virginia.
But we've all turned the AC on at this point, right?
Oh, mine's been on.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, lady.
Of course.
Well, President Biden will be holding meetings today with the prime ministers of Iraq and the Czech Republic following this weekend's attacks.
Fox's Madeline Rivera has more on this story.
The president is holding these high-level talks against the backdrop of 2 major wars in Ukraine and the Middle East, which he's struggling to keep from spreading.
The hope is that we can de-escalate the tensions. That's really what the president's been trying to do.
In a conversation with G7 leader Sunday, President Biden urged restraint in the Middle East. He maintains U.S. support for Israel is ironclad, but he says there is one thing the U.S. won't do, and that's participating in a counteroffensive if Israel does launch one against Iran. Israel is still weighing its response.
Right now is when the world must stop ignoring Iran's crimes and take action. As Iran's mask has fallen,
U.S. officials say Navy and Air Force assets, which were moved to the region ahead of an anticipated attack, took down 70 Iranian drones and ballistic missiles.
I think Israel this morning is now much stronger than they were yesterday, and Iran is relatively weaker than it was yesterday.
On Capitol Hill, there's a renewed sense of urgency to provide more aid for Israel. Lawmakers, though, are divided on how to respond. Bipartisan calls are growing for the House to take up the Senate-passed $95 billion foreign aid bill that includes money for Israel, Ukraine, and the Indo-Pacific.
I just think we should follow and have Israel's back in the situation.
This week, the House is putting 17 bills on the floor to hammer Iran or show support for Israel. It's still possible aid to Israel may be tied to assistance for Ukraine, despite opposition from hardline conservatives. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.